Tom Krieglstein, the entrepreneur and internationally known keynote speaker and facilitator, feels at home at COD. His parents were both professors, and where Krieglstein was honored as a Phi Theta Kappa All-USA first team member, an Illinois Centennial Scholar, and an outstanding graduate. Through his company, SwiftKick, Krieglstein trains college and corporate leaders on how to build a culture of connection within their organization and team, a subject he was passionate about during his time here as a student and still is today.
The thing that sets Tom apart from most other speakers is it's his sincerity. He's doing this to have a positive impact. And that sort of spirit comes through his speaking, and you can see the students connecting with that kind of energy.
Not only is he a great public speaker, but he's just a great person in general.
Besides his passion for helping students, he has this passion for justice and equality in the world, and he just wants to keep putting that message out there. We all give kudos, as he does, to Chuck Steele. That Chuck kind of dragged him kicking and screaming into student activities, and the rest is history.
I first connected with Tom when I had first started in student activities, and together we worked to basically reinvigorate the student organization. I knew it would take a charismatic student to connect with other students, and Tom was just that. One of the things Tom did was he knew what the organization needed, and he went out and recruited students that were perfect for program board, that were motivated to be a part of program board and contribute to its success, because the students that he recruited then recruited other students who had the same mindset.
In his success, he has not lost his connection to his roots.
Having that extra little bit of his connection to College of DuPage makes every time he's on campus speaking to our students that little bit more special.
He knows how to connect with us, and when someone has that, it kind of captures your attention, and you become more active in the activities that he has, and you become attached and more interested.
One of the things that has always been a theme in his speaking career has been free hugs. He has signs made up, he gives them out to students, and students will offer strangers free hugs as a way of connection and a feeling of community. And he thought it would be fun to try to set the Guinness Book of World Records for the number of hugs. And when he thought about doing that, he thought, what better place to do it than at College of DuPage?
What's exciting though is that
it started off small, but then it rippled into something huge. And eventually we got over 100 students. And it was just really fun and amazing to see him being so happy that, he got all these students to participate in the one thing that he loves.
One thing that comes through talking to Tom is the importance of his family that's had on him personally and professionally. Both his parents worked at College of DuPage. They were both professors here.
We're proud that he is continuing the whole tradition of the Krieglstein family of educating other people. He has not lost his determination to not only work with what's right in front of him, with the students he's working with at a specific time, but to look at the larger picture and how he can make an impact in the larger community.
From the class of 2001, please welcome Tom Krieglstein, a 2017 Distinguished Alum.
wow. So the first thing you should know is that my speeches and trainings are normally 8 hours long. So when they said this should be 2 to 3 minutes long, I was like, is that the introduction? Because I need a little more time. So I was here at College of DuPage in 1999, and I had this memory. I bought these pair of sneakers that I used from money that I worked for at the bookstore in the downstairs where I was working, and or the ticket office. Sorry. And these sneakers, when I first put them on, I walked through the hallways of COD without carpet. They made a squeaking noise. And I refused to return them because I was committed. I'm not a quitter. And so I remember I would just walk down the hallway and it would go squeak, 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 squeak the whole time. So why am I telling you that? Well, today, as we were walking around the hallways today, a student walked past me. And his shoes were going squeak, 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 squeak. And I had this sort of Back to the Future moment where I wanted to turn around and be like, yo, your future's gonna be okay. Like, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say in that moment. Because then another thing happened today where I was giving a training over at Student Life, and a student came up to me afterwards, and I'm sorry, I have to lift this up a little bit. I'm a slight bit taller. You're tall, I'm just taller. Okay, we got this. We're all good here. Squeak, squeak, squeak. And so, all right, so this student came up afterwards, and the student went to me and said, I want to be a professional speaker. And then I had this instant flashback in my mind to when I was a student at a program where it was a speaker came in, and his name was Patrick Combs, and he stood up front, and I was so enthralled by what he did and how he was able to move this audience from this space to this space and have this outcome and have such a positive impact on these students that I went up to him afterwards and I said, I want to be a professional speaker. And I thought in that moment today, when the squeaking happened, and then when she walked up to me afterwards, that's the circle. That's the circle that we stumbled over in the words earlier, this multi-generational concept. But that's what, to me, education's about. This idea that I come to a space like this, not knowing who I am. The group around me helps me discover who I am. Then they help me discover what I want to do in this world. Then they help me figure out how to make a career out of it. And then I come back and help those same people. And here I was today walking down the hallways going, holy crap, I'm doing that. And it's happening right now. Now, here's the thing, though. If that were it, that would be amazing. But the problem is that's not it, because I do a lot of professional speeches all over the world now. I've gotten to speak in front of small groups and large groups. And I was just down in Dallas working for an organization, a company down there that's worth $500 million. And I know some of you are looking at me debating if I'm 12 years old or 14 years old. And believe me, every single executive in that audience was thinking the same thing, because in the audience, in the front row, was the CEO, the CFO, and the COO, who all just got up before me, and they got to speak for 10 minutes each. And then I was the guest keynote speaker, and I was supposed to walk on stage in front of people who were at least double my age and deliver a message that they felt like was worth their time. And in that moment, right before I stepped on stage, I thought to myself, and that negative voice popped in my head and said, why are they going to listen to you? And I had such imposter syndrome in that moment. And in that moment, I really had to work hard to push that voice out of my head. And that voice, unfortunately, I wish it was some voice that would never show up ever again, but it seems like it constantly keeps coming back. Every single time I push myself out into a vulnerable space where I'm about to do something that could potentially hurt me. And that voice pops in. And I've realized throughout the process that it's not about me trying to get rid of that voice. It's about me trying to depower that voice. And what was interesting today is as I was walking with this group and hearing all of their stories, I had the exact same thing. I'm like, the imposter syndrome popped back in my head. And I'm like, look at these distinguished alumni, and here I am. How do I and why do I get to be on here? And the voice popped back in my head. And the reason I feel like I'm standing here today and able to continue to push past that voice every single time I have an opportunity to work with groups or speak in front of groups is because of the people around me and the people who got me from where I'm at in the past to where I'm at now. I graduated high school with a C, stellar C grade point average, hold the applause. All of my friends went to amazing colleges, and I stumbled into the brown box here at COD. It was a little more in a brown box at this time, but it was not what it is now. And I stumbled into student life. And Chuck Steele, I was his first hire and clearly his best hire ever, humbly speaking. And Chuck saw, and I should say, Chuck is by far easily the fourth favorite person for me here at COD. So I just wanted to, can we just quickly acknowledge him as my fourth favorite person? So Chuck, some people will get up here and say mentor, and I have a different word, and some of you probably have heard this before, but Chuck to me was a sponsor. And the difference to me between a mentor and a sponsor is a mentor is going to give advice and suggestions on where the person should go, and a sponsor opens up that door for that person. And for me, Chuck saw something in me that I didn't see it myself at the time, and he gave me the advice like a mentor should, but then he turned around and opened up the door, and I had to walk through it. And every time he saw me walk through it and show up in a better version of myself after that, whatever challenge it was, then he turned right back around and gave me another piece of advice, another challenge, and he just kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And it truly was, I am a product, everything that my success is now is a product of the co-curricular space here at College of DuPage. I love my classroom experience, my teachers were amazing, and I'm gonna add to it, what really set me apart in terms of my life was the co-curricular, everything that happened outside the classroom, in the informal learning spaces here on campus, when I hung around the teachers' offices afterwards, or I hung around with Chuck in student life, or I went to student activities events throughout campus. And so Chuck for me is one of those sponsors that showed up, and he continues to show up throughout my life. And then the other thing is I feel like I won the parent lottery. Yeah, well, let's hold for the applause. First, let me say what I'm going to say, and then we'll get the acknowledgement. Because when we walked in this room, I showed up a little bit later than my parents, and my parents had this huge crowd around them. And honest to goodness, they are COD royalty, my parents. So can we just quickly acknowledge my mom and my dad who are over here? I won the parent lottery with them. And I'm going to extend that because I noticed that my godparents are here as well. And my godparents, I know that with age, unfortunately, sometimes health challenges show up. And seeing them here and seeing them walk in just means so much. So, thank you. And so that's my introduction. Now, you thought you were gonna get me out. And so I just, my final thoughts here are thank you. And I love what I get to do in the world, and I truly appreciate everything that I've gained from College of DuPage to be where I'm at in this world, in the work I continue to do. And so I acknowledge all those here at COD who helped me, and especially my family who continue to support me throughout all of it. So thank you so much, appreciate it.